I'm Tamsin, and it's wonderful to be talking to you again, this time about probably my favorite attribute, which is curiosity. It's my favorite because it reminds me of children. It reminds me of moments where we kind of wander off and really just dig into our experience in some deeper ways. And it can feel really playful, but actually it's also something that leadership groups like McKinsey or Bain say is the key attribute of leaders. This learning mindset, this different way of thinking. So I'm just going to start by asking, how curious are you feeling today? There was a moment in my life where I didn't feel curious at all. I'm going to take you to a moment where I was sitting on an airplane, a small light airplane. My knuckles were completely white. We were traveling over the Himalayas. It was really too close. And I was flying into a place called Bhutan. And Bhutan has a totally different way of governing. It's called gross national happiness versus gross domestic product. And I was coming into that country with a bunch of impact investors and filmmakers to learn about this entirely different system of governing. And the ironic thing was that I was coming into this without any sense of curiosity. In fact, I didn't feel very much at all. And when we sat around as a group on the first day in Bhutan and we were asked, what do we want to get out of this trip? I said, I want something that's going to make me curious for the next 20 years of my life. It was a pretty big ask, but at that time I was totally burnt out. And I think when we get to an experience of burnout, we lose a sense of what it is to be curious. And so since that time in Bhutan of learning and exploring a whole different way of living, I got in touch with the Argonauts. And really, I think this whole journey of consciousness that we're all on has been a key part of my journey as well. I guess the question is, how do you get curious? So in my situation, what I decided to do was to sit in a garden and just simply wait for my sensation to return. And it required me to listen very deeply because I'd been trained to listen to my mind, but not trained to listen to my senses. In a way, I'd been trained to block them out, to lock them in, to be able to just keep doing and doing and doing. And I was in a way rebalancing between this curiosity that I know that we all need and this learning mindset. Jung had this really interesting idea of synchronicity. You've probably all heard of synchronicity, but it's this idea that what we want is actually calling us. That through our experience of the world, when we sit still or listen, we start to see what is calling us. And this could be really anything. And sometimes it doesn't always make sense, and always it doesn't have words. But it is taking a moment to orient into that situation. The Argonauts has an amazing orientation practice that you can do. It takes 30 seconds. You can do it in a boardroom. You can do it really in any place where you feel like you're not connecting to your body, to help you to unlock a different wave of intelligence. Because we now know through science that our body and mind are not separate. Even though our mind might want to tell us it knows what the answer is, it is a part of an integrated system of our body and our mind. And so when you orient, what is it that you're doing? How do you know when you are curious? Do you feel it in your body? It is a sense of aliveness. Sometimes when someone says something to me, my whole body feels like it's awake. Or it could be in a moment in a meeting where you're really low energy and all of a sudden something happens and you're awake and you're engaged. It's like you've gone back onto your track of what interests you and everything is alive and everything is awake. I think all of us is born to have a unique path. And the way we unlock that unique path is through our senses and our curiosity in our senses. So the sparks of life that come to us, that we don't have to do anything to find. They find us if we take the time to orient to our body so we can hear it when it's speaking to us.